Look at my mustache. All right, what's up, everybody? It's been a long time since I've done a skateboarding vlog, but I've actually had the skate bug quite a bit recently. I've been going out skating now and then, not too often, maybe once every few weeks. And the other day, for the first time in a while, I got together with the boys and kind of had like an all-day skate session at 88th Street Skatepark in Queens. And not only did I have the skate bug, I also had the vlog bug. Brought out the tripod, brought the little camera, filmed some clips. It was a lot of fun, and it brought me back to the days of doing this YouTube channel on a weekly basis. And I kind of had this idea to do a skate and chat series for however long this skate bug lasts, to just film my sessions and then have a little bit of a reflection about the skate session or something that's on my mind. Today I want to talk about just how it kind of feels to be back on the skateboard after such a long break. And I also want to talk about the helmet, because I've been posting a bunch of like flat ground tricks without the helmet on, and I'm getting a lot of comments of people asking me about the helmet. Some people are disappointed, confused, etc., wondering about helmet gang and what happened, so I want to talk about that. And during this session itself, I was having a little bit of a thing in my mind about the helmet. So first, I'm going to play the session in full, very raw, just kind of show you what I filmed, and then I'll meet you back here after for the chat. Here.
88th Street!
Get it. Damn. We should do this every weekend for the rest of the summer.
Made it to the skate park.
Alright, everyone try not to roll your ankles in the first 2 minutes.
Alright, I'm expecting a train. Wah. Alright, session's going really well. It's really fun. It's been a while since I've kind of been out skating with the boys, and I just feel like I'm at an adult playground and my inner child's coming out to play. It's great. Here's Danny. This shit is really fun.
What's the weather like, George?
So this session was really, really fun and very, very healing. I remember this feeling that since I've been taking such a long break from skateboarding, I sort of have had this feeling that I forgot that I'm like allowed to just go and skate. Like I am completely free, despite this space I'm taking from skateboarding. I'm completely free to wake up one day, and if I feel like skating, if I feel like going to a skate park, if I feel like making a skate vlog, even after all this time has elapsed, there's absolutely nothing stopping me but myself from going and doing all that and enjoying it. And I feel like on this day I really got to lean into all that. I feel like my inner child really just got to come out and play, and also just I really allowed myself to just sink into presence. I really felt like this summer energy, like I was really there at the skate park. We spent the whole day there. It was hot. I ran through the sprinklers at the other side of the park, which really like elongated the session, and just really had some quality time with my friends. And there was really this very interesting feeling of almost nostalgia, but also relief. The nostalgia was about the fact that I used to do this all the time, almost every single day. I would have days like this where I was just skating with my friends and filming. And then the relief came from the fact that, oh, I can still do this. Like nothing has ended. Just because the skateboarding YouTube channel is not necessarily the thing that I'm honed in on anymore. Like what I said earlier, if I wake up one day and I want to do this, I can still do it. So that was a very, very liberating feeling. And then I noticed that I'm skating much differently these days. First of all, and I've spoken about this before, I seem to have enough muscle memory built in to skateboarding. I've spent enough time on the board that it doesn't seem to matter if I take 1 month, 2 months, even 3 months off. When I hop back on the board, I kind of snap right back into it. So that's really cool. When we showed up to the skate park, started on the Euro, I started filming right away, started kind of batting off tricks. The ones I ended up kind of pushing past my limits for were the tray flip tail grab and the switch frontside 360. Both new tricks for me. It was kind of a surprise to myself that I was able to actually learn new tricks after so much time away from skate parks. And then there was a moment where I put the camera away, and this is actually where I took the helmet off and I just started kind of flowing around the park. And I noticed like, wow, there's a... You know, for so much of my life, I've been skating in this particular way, kind of focused on the video, right? And I've actually been filming myself skateboarding since I was like 8 years old. Like pretty much right when I started skateboarding, I was filming myself. So my skating has always been very focused on landing like particular tricks for the video. And it's kind of this very focused, pinpointed way of skating. But what I noticed when I put the camera down, and I've also, as I've sort of let go of this YouTube channel and let go of the skate vlogs, I feel much less pressure on my skateboarding skill and abilities. And I'm much more able to just show up and have fun with absolutely no pressure on myself. Like it doesn't matter how good I am at all. Right. And there were moments where I was like, should I try to skate the handrail? And I was just like, no, I don't feel like it. There's no point. I have nothing to prove. If I wanted to, I feel like I could do this, but it really doesn't matter. So there were a lot of moments like that during the session where I just decided not to do a particular trick, almost because I identified that the desire to do this trick was not really from an authentic place, if that makes sense. It was more like this need to prove something, whether to the video or to myself. And I was kind of just able to drop all that. Anyways, I noticed when I put the camera away and I was just kind of surfing the park that I kind of felt like I sunk into sort of the true way that I'm able to skate, where it's there's no pressure, there's no expectation. I don't have to do any tricks if I don't want to. I can just skate exactly how it feels good. And I felt this flow of the skating, and it was really beautiful. So that was just something I noticed. I was like, there's this like whole other way to skate that has nothing to do with outcomes at all. It's just being there on the skateboard and doing exactly what feels good. And that's not really how I've skated for most of my life. It's been, again, very focused on the video, on the performance, on the tricks, on the progression. So it was nice to just allow myself to sink into that flowy kind of present focused skating. And I feel like this is a product of a lot of things. You know, I've been making a lot of efforts in my life lately to be more present. And I also just think it's a product of just growing up and getting older and getting wiser and realizing I have nothing to prove to anyone else, nor to myself. And what's most fulfilling is to just be there, do what feels good, and have fun. And that brings me to the helmet discussion, right? Because I have been kind of less anal about the helmet thing. As I've been going out and kind of having casual flat ground sessions, I've just been leaving the helmet at home, not taking it too seriously. You know, I remember when I went to Cooper Skatepark more recently, I was wearing the helmet because I still kind of feel there are still moments and there's certain kinds of skateboarding where I still feel like I want to wear the helmet because I just feel better. I just feel more comfortable. I feel like quarter pipes, I kind of want to be wearing a helmet, transition, things like that. Flat ground, I don't really feel that much of a need to wear the helmet. And then during this session that you just watched, as I was kind of surfing around the park, I just felt like I wanted to take it off, and it was very liberating actually to kind of let go of this attachment. I really have developed this attachment and this story that I'm someone who always wears a helmet when I skate, and obviously based on the comments I've received since posting on Instagram without the helmet, it's like other people have that story and that image of me in their heads as well. And it's just interesting to kind of witness how I kind of used to put up this fight and this effort to normalize helmet usage, and I really put in this effort to kind of talk about how it doesn't matter if you choose to wear a helmet, and then it's interesting how when I decided to take the helmet off, it's like I had become ingrained in wearing the helmet, so now there's almost like a pressure for me to wear a helmet, right? It's really interesting. And I feel like the pressure of wearing a helmet or not wearing a helmet, it really just depends on what you're used to and what other people are used to. The main thing I want to say about the helmet is what helmet gang has always been about, whether I knew it at the time or not, but this is how I see it now. What it's always been about was not specifically this mission about safety and wearing a helmet and we should all wear helmets and it's the right thing to do. It's always more been about following your heart, right? And if you remember my brand Aero Skate Co., the tagline was always follow your heart, do what feels good. So what the helmet was always about was if you want to wear a helmet, if that's what your heart is calling you to do, you should wear it, right? It's never been about judging people for wearing one or not wearing one. It wasn't really specifically about the helmet. The helmet was more of a metaphor to encourage others and also to encourage myself to kind of be brave and just do the thing that I wanted to do, right? Because I often genuinely do feel more comfortable in a helmet. And just because that's changing now and I'm not choosing to wear a helmet as often, and again, I'm still wearing it for the kinds of skateboarding that feel more intense for me, the message is really the same. And it's about if you want to do something, disregard what everyone else is doing, tune into yourself and make that decision for yourself and own that decision, and don't be afraid of it, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks about you. So that's the underlying lesson, and I'm taking that with me during any skate session, whether I'm wearing the helmet or not, right? It doesn't really matter. It's more about what feels right for me. That's kind of it. So it's I'm not, I definitely feel like back in the day I was so adamant and vocal about the helmet usage, but I really now I don't see myself as someone who has a fixed identity at all. So it's the idea that it's shocking that I wouldn't wear a helmet for a particular skate session, it's kind of funny and silly to me. It's it doesn't really matter what I'm doing, right? We should all be focusing on what feels good for us and following our own path. All right, I think that's it for this skate and chat. If you have any questions you want me to discuss on the next episode, leave it in the comments. If you want to support, I've got a whole new merch line at georgepoulos.com. So check all that stuff out. It's kind of inspired by the spiritual journey I've been on. I also have a podcast where I get deep into things like intuition, being oneself, following your heart, unconditional love, etc., things I'm really interested in, meditation, things like that. All that is linked down below. Thanks for joining me on this session, and I'll see you next time. and the switch front threads, and the switch front. Almost because I